I've never seen it.
That's like I worked at ArcLight and everyone had a name tag with their name and then favorite movie.
No.
And like, people would try and be really sophisticated about it, but I'm like, we're at the ArcLight. This is a chain movie theater.
Yeah.
Like, all of us are just making $8 an hour. Like, there's nothing pretentious about this. And so,
put Lion King and go get behind the counter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What was on your name tag?
I think at one point I had the Lizzie McGuire movie just to kind of be a little bit trolly.
Yes.
And
yeah.
I
Same
had
instincts.
I had like a corny cheesy line where when people would come in and be like, "Is that really your favorite movie?" I'd go, "Yeah, I'm kind of a movie duff." And I felt really good about that.
That's really good.
You have an "I'm with her" sticker, but it's for Hillary Duff.
That's really.
I'm with Hurlery.
That's really funny. That's good.
I love that. I think that there is like a shift away from pretension in movies. That is very fun to see. And I see a lot of the videos because I make like fake movie jokes a lot.
Right.
So a lot of my feed is real movie people, like the people that I'm like, you take this too seriously.
Yeah.
And the letterbox people will ask people their 4 favorite movies on like red carpets. It's very popular. And I love when someone's like Jurassic Park, Lion King, Toy Story 4. I'm just like, yes, I love you. You know what I mean? These are movies people see. And then when someone says 4 movies I've never heard of, sometimes they've thought about it.
Oh yeah, they've spent so much time trying to figure out movies that like encapsulate who they are and how they're viewed and what people will think of them.
This is, and you've never seen Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
You've also never seen Lord of the Rings?
No, I haven't. But I did do an episode like a couple of years ago of this podcast. That was Lord of the Rings.
Who else?
Who was it?
I don't remember. I know Bailey was on it.
I love Lord. If you were like, if I had to do my 4 favorite thing, I would be like, push them all together as one, and Lord of the Rings is one of them. I think it's I could just go on for, it's the greatest fantasy thing adaptation that's ever existed, I think.
Oh, you did a redacted script. Somebody didn't write the script. You did a redacted
Well, there's
script.
something about Lord of the Rings where people don't write the scripts.
That's because Peter Jackson already wrote too many of them for too long. And I love it so much, and I watch them probably once a year, and that's about 12 and a half or 13 hours to get through them all. I just think there's nothing like them. I think they hold up. And then there's this television show on Amazon, The Lord of the Rings. It's called The Rings of Power, and it's based on a tiny amount of the. I don't want to nerd out too. If you want to just watch someone nerd about Lord of the Rings, just go Google Colbert.
What do you love about it?
About Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, I'm just curious.
I think it is like very. Well, I think I read it. You know, when we were talking just before we started about writing something, and how good it feels to finish writing something. And how getting started on it is a big thing in overcoming writing something. I'm worse about reading. I have a harder time starting reading than I do writing something. And maybe because if I sit at my computer and do nothing, I can count that as writing.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I read The Lord of the Rings, the books, in middle school.
Yeah.
And finished them. And The Hobbit. And The Hobbit is like more of a children's book. But Lord of the Rings is not easy to read. It is exhausting. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone at all. He's like, there'll be 40 pages about a sword, and he'll basically be like, that's not going to come up anymore. And then you won't hear about it ever again.
Yeah.
It's so long. But I felt so accomplished reading them at an age where if you do anything all the way through, that's your favorite thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
That's true.
And
at that age specifically, it like leaves such a mark.
You were just like, I was carrying the big, huge versions of the book around with me and like leaving them on my desk.
And then you feel like a genius.
Yeah, I'm like, but the only person who would ever talk to me about it would be like a teacher. I was like, are you really fucking reading Lord of the Rings?
That's like, there's this author named Ellen Hopkins, and she writes like young adult stories, like fiction, and her books are massive, but the reason they're massive is because each page, it's like maybe one word is on
like a children's
page.
book.
Yeah.
It's like artistic, where like one of the pages, all the lines will like be in an X shape, like and so that's why it's big. But I remember going to school being like, I'm a genius. Just do not open the book.
That's how I feel now reading my fantasy smut.
Oh, are you reading those naughty fairy stories?
I'm look. This is my. I read 30 books in 3 months.
Oh my god,
30.
I got down a deep hole. Not all of them were like 800 pages, but like, look.
If each one's one page, that's more than I've read in some months.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't like. I'm an addict. I'm like in recovery. So like it's like porn is a dopamine hit, but it's like porn and fantasy and reading, like make me feel less powerful. Like
yeah. But I feel like if you like these little horny fairy books, then I feel like maybe Lord of the Rings potentially.
It could be. I don't know if it's as...
They're ugly, though, and the ones in the books are hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is... Everyone in Lord of the Rings is dirty.
Yeah,
that's
all
what
of the time.
I don't like it.
I guess I didn't really thought about why I like it more than... I don't even like a lot of fantasy things.
No, that's cool. That's why I was curious.
And I think it's just so specific. It also hit all exactly in the right years of my life to be impressionable and to be a thing that was fun to enjoy. And I think that a teacher that I liked also really liked it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like reaffirmed in that notion. And I just spent a lot of time. And then this Amazon show, I couldn't hate a television show more if I tried to. It's like such an upsetting thing for me to... I don't know if I'm like looking like there'll be reaction. I don't know if Jake watches this show. I hate this program.
Yeah.
To where I couldn't even jokingly watch it with other people that hate it and make it through it. We were like, let's get together, make dinner, watch this thing we all collectively hate, and we couldn't.
Fuck.
As like an event, and it's for an hour.
Wow.
Whoa.
And everyone's very clean and pretty, and they spent $1 billion on a television show with a B, $1 billion.
That's what they put their money on, because they were like, well, we already kind of did it, so like film already did it, so we should just do something similar.
It's just coasting on like the... You know that Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he's pointing at the TV and he's like, "Oh, like from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood."
Yeah.
It's just like they're just counting on you watching and being like, "I remember that."
Yeah.
That's the guy from the thing. Like,
I'm sure they threw out like a million beautiful, unique stories that people like spent their time writing
and trying to sell to Amazon.
Yeah, and tried to sell to Amazon, and they were like, "What's this bad one?"
Well, it cost them so much money to even own the property of the Lord of the Rings that they own, which was not, they don't own Lord of the, they own like a little bit of an appendix of a book.
Okay.
And then they based the whole, so that cost them, so it's like buying Mickey or something.
Yeah.
These people are so dumb.
I pitched this show to Amazon, never seen it, which would just be like a, like a drunk history, right?
Which would be
fun.
so perfect.
And they were like, we like this, and then they just go, we're really only this was before Lord of the Rings, this is before any of their, any original programming was out except like Man in the High Castle, I think is what was on. And they were just like, well, we're only doing prestige stuff. But thanks for talking. I'm like, hey, at least you like got it. I wasn't that mad at them, and they're still kind of only doing that. All their stuff is like very pretty and large. And
maybe if you dress up as pretty little troll fairies, whatever.
I'll dress up as Maisel.
Goonies the series, get on it.
Oh yeah. Wait, is that happening?
No, I'm just saying.
I'm so gullible. Write it. You could, I guess, you could tell me anything is being remade.
I'm sure you could reboot anything. I'm sure like all of the stuff. And unfortunately, like I would be slightly interested.
Well,
because I'm old enough now that it like makes me feel like I'm not closer to death. I
mean, the first thing I ever wrote in college in a screenwriting class, I wrote a movie about 4 roommates who remade Lord of the Rings to try and pay rent. And I thought it'd be this was in 2010.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it'd be so funny to remake a 10-year-old movie, but they didn't own any of the properties. So they had to call everyone by different names and do all this stuff. And they were going to try and do this.
That'll be like my script.
Yeah. I'll just send you my PDF.
No one will have the right name.
Perfect. It. And so I think I just have an attachment to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And
that's cool,
obviously people just grab onto their thing, and I love it dearly.
It's nice to have a thing.
It is. I also think that like there is something significant about that age and like your cultural influence and any age and having like a mass cultural experience, which is why like when we were in the pandemic, we all loved watching Tiger King, and stuff like that, because we all were like, oh my god,
are less
we're
of
all
those
talking about it.
We all everyone pretended they liked the Bulls in the 90s. For like 5 weeks. So like, we're all watching the Bulls doc. And we all like Michael Jordan enough, but it was just so funny if you ever be like, I got to watch that Bulls doc. They hate sports. They don't like the Bulls. But they're like,
that was me.
There's no more collective.
Yeah.
We're not. I can't think of any. Severance is close.
I just started watching.
TikToks are I'm not even joking. TikToks are the cultural.
Yeah, but even that is so hard because I'll be watching a TikTok and be like, wow, this is great. Everyone knows this. And then I'll be like, did you see the girl with the Chipotle burrito? And you're like, what are you talking about?
Okay, but let me ask you this. When it hits, if you felt that way and then I said, yeah, 100%, we would feel
so connected.
Like you spoke a secret language with each other?
But it's not widely.
No, I agree. We're all just desperate for connection.
Yes.
And so that's like what we're doing. And it used to be something as sweet as reading the Lord of the Rings books.
Yeah. Everyone watched things. Game of Thrones was the last time I think it was.
Although I will say women my age now, it is in the zeitgeist. We are reading our fairy porn.
Yeah, everyone I know is reading this.
Yeah, and you know what? It does feel great to be connected to other sick women.
Finally.
Finally.
Well, hopefully.
Give us a voice.
What were you saying you just started watching?
Severance. Yeah.
How do you like it?
I'm loving it. I'm so glad that I didn't watch it when it first came out because now I don't have to wait for the second season.
This is also a thing that is so much easier to do.
Yeah.
You can just, I mean, what's like, the first season was so long ago.
Yeah, 2 years.
I miss so desperately, and I have to just give a shout out to like Abbott Elementary and like What We Do in the Shadows, the show, for making shows regularly and not waiting 10 years in between absolutely everything that happens. I think Abbott Elementary is like 24 episodes still.
Yeah.
And every year they're putting this out. Good for them.
I haven't seen Severance yet, but I've heard good things.
Yeah, I like it. I love any sort of mystery show where you're not sure what's happening and who's up to something, and I like to get really investigative even though I'm a terrible investigator. Like I'll start looking for clues in things that there's no clue. Like when they clock into work, I'm like looking at the time on the clock to see if there's any discrepancies, but it's like I'm looking in the wrong direction.
Right.
I'm like, is he wearing the same shoes from before? And it's like they're not going to reveal.
They haven't even thought about that.
So you're an active viewer when you watch TV?
I'll start out active, and then enough things will be revealed that I didn't see coming that I'm like, I'm gonna retire early from investigating
and just let it wash over you from here on out.
Kick back.
Kyle, are you an active watcher for things?
Yeah, I also don't watch that many things because I get really mad at myself if I miss something.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I couldn't tell. I wasn't sure.
That's why I think I find comfort in rewatching a 13-hour thing I've seen 10 times. Because if I doze off for a second, I know what's going on. I want to... we should explain what's happening.
Okay.
You've never seen Lord of the Rings.
No.
We're going to interpose the script. We're going to do a reading at a later time. Mm-hmm. The Church of Jesus Christ and latter date reads. But I want to know what you might know about it, and then I want to play a couple games about it while we're here.
Okay, great.
And feel great. What is like? This is, I would say, about as massive of a thing to have not seen as there is. Mm-hmm. It would be like this and The Lion King. Mm-hmm. And that might be the two things I think are probably the big. Because do you know anyone who hasn't seen The Lion King? Anyone?
I know that I've seen it. I couldn't really tell you much about it.
Yeah, I think it was.
But I've definitely watched it.
You don't think Harry Potter's there?
I thought you were going to say you don't think Harry Potter's seen The Lion King. He had to change the region on his Netflix.
They don't have it in Hogwarts.
No, they do. Harry Potter is very, very huge, but I think some people avoided it.
Or just the age. Like, I feel like if you were an adult with no kids when it came out, it's like, then why are you going to suddenly get into it later?
Okay, relax.
What do you mean?
No, I was a kid.
You're a kid.
Yeah, you were a kid once, Lindsay. I looked it up.
I was just thinking about myself now, and I was like, whoa, she's coming for me.
So, like, if it had just come out, I don't think I would be running in line to see it.
If you're at Universal right now today.
Yeah.
But Harry Potter was very, very, very big. But still, like, Lord of the Rings also won a lot of Oscars.
Sure. But when I think this is the big issue. When did it come out?
Early aughts.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you know I just learned that early aughts only applies to the early 2000s?
That's what I would assume.
Oh, I just kept saying early aughts for any early decade.
You have like bounce checks. Like, I don't think my passport is not even valid.
I didn't really like understand the phrasing, and I was like,
I love that you're like, you know how we all never thought it only meant, and then Allie like, no, we all knew this. I've been saying early aughts for like
I guess I just am never referring to like the early 1700s or the early 1800s.
Yeah.
I said early aughts in the 90s, and someone goes, what?
Oh,
for like 1992
per decade.
Yeah,
just
I'll be like, you know, the 90s early aughts.
And you're like,
early 90s is acceptable,
right? But I was like, I wanted to use the phrase.
what are we supposed to call the tens?
I think tens.
Yeah, the tens.
The tens?
What did we call the 1910s? The 1910s, I guess.
That sounds
The teens?
horrible.
But 20s sounds great.
20s.
10s
Yeah.
does sound bad. Oh, it's not pleased.
Sad.
Okay, so what is brought in? I because it's just so big. I think it was like 01. These are also, they came out with 3 giant movies faster than Severance came out with 2 seasons of television.
But I guess also the thing here, even though it came out in the early aughts, I was born in 1995.
Okay.
So I don't think
Wait, Lindsay, why are you leaving?
I don't think I would have been in line at 5 years old.
Yeah, it would have been a
Fired up.
move.
And my parents aren't into sci-fi at all, so they wouldn't have ever wanted to show me
Yeah.
this, and so it just kind of never came up.
Yeah.
And I've never had any personal interest.
I mean,
in
that
seeing
it totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're saying this, I'm now remembering my mom telling me that she liked The Hobbit, I think. And I wanted to like something my mom liked because it was a very do stuff my dad likes centric, play sports,
Yeah.
do these sort of things. And then my mom being like, oh, I like The Hobbit. I was like, okay, I'm going to read that. And that's what started.
By the way,
this.
sorry for your loss.
No, thanks.
Um,
She's talking about football, not my
Oh,
parents
okay,
dying.
I was like, oh, God. I don't have the emotional capacity to deal with that.
sorry for
It's
your
okay.
Sorry for your loss.
It's okay. It is fine. And so I guess that it makes perfect sense. If you're not led to it, it's a huge thing to take on.
Yeah, like my dad's movies that he would take me to were like Austin Powers.
Yeah,
Like
which I've
I
never
remember-
seen.
Stop.
Wait.
Can I host the pod and then you do?
I'll rewrite Austin
Yes,
Powers.
that'd be really fun if you let people guest host it while you rewrote
Yeah,
the
it is
script.
about time for me to write another. Well, I did the Chiefs Hallmark movie.
Oh my God.
There was a Hallmark movie about the Kansas City Chiefs that
Oh my
I
God.
didn't watch, but I rewrote that around Christmas. Other than I haven't done anything in a little while. Austin Powers, I don't know what it was. I don't know why I never saw it. Because it's
really
like right
fun.
in my age,
Were
I
you
feel
like a mature kid? It sounds like you were kind of like one of those kids that were like little adults.
No,
Oh,
I
okay.
don't think I didn't see a lot of movies.
Okay.
I missed a lot of stuff.
I feel like it's the opposite way around. Like me seeing Austin Powers at like 6 years old in theaters with my dad, I feel like that makes you mature. Whereas like reading Lord of the Rings in middle school is like, I'm a kid and I'm reading kid stuff.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
No, that makes sense when you
Because
say it like
those
that.
big giant books that I was reading that are like equivalent to Lord of the Rings, they're about like smoking crack, and I'm like, I love this.
Yeah, I mean, Austin Powers is for older people than Lord of the Rings. I mean,
Yeah.
at least like the floor, they're probably
Yeah.
like hoping you're set 15 and up.
Yeah.
I guess you're right. I think I've always considered Lord of the Rings as being like too complex
No, it
for me
feels
to
so
figure
wholesome.
out. So like I'm always like, oh, I'll just leave it to the nerds.
I would say it might feel a little bit like watching E.T. for the first time. If you consume Lord of the Rings for the first time now,
Yeah.
because it does a lot of the things that a lot of other stuff does.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's the bike in front of the moon.
yeah.
Oh, it's the thing. And you're like, then you want to be like, yeah, well, but they came up with this. And you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, but I've seen trolls and I've seen like elves
Yeah.
and I've seen like these like medieval fantasy lore that this guy sort of popularized.
Yeah. Well, I was telling my boyfriend last night because I was with him when I got the email to do the show, and he was like, oh, so like, what are you thinking about for Lord of the Rings? And I'm like, well, I don't know. There's like 6 movies of them. Like, I imagine it's like Pirates of the Caribbean, where it's like everyone wants this ring, and now we're gonna find out in 5 movies who ends up with it, or
I'm very
Something
excited
to that
for your
effect.
script.
It feels very much like, Johnny Depp is like a wizard, and, through a series of events, you think he has the ring at one point, then he doesn't, then Orlando Bloom comes in, Keira Knightley's there. Like that.
This is all accurate.
It feels like Pirates of the Caribbean, but wizard times.
I never saw Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, well, if you need to spend 20 hours on something.
Oh, God.
Right, there's a lot of them
Pirates
now.
is fun.
Yeah.
The first one's
Oh,
amazing.
it's fun.
I just don't like Johnny Depp, and it has nothing to do with whatever.
No,
Right,
he's
that
so
actually made you
good.
like him more.
I did like him more. When I found that out, I was like, oh, baby, I've been missing out. No, I just never liked him. He freaked me out ever since Edward Scissorhands.
Freaked me out.
Edward Scissorhands freaked me out, and then I didn't like him after that.
But him as a pirate is the most normal Johnny Depp.
Okay.
Like somehow him
It does seem
as
like
a pirate
default.
feels normal.
Like the rest of him seems to be behaving outside of how. I mean, it is so wild. Like, it's a perfect performance. He's so good in those
Yeah.
movies. And
Okay.
the first one is amazing. And then there's fun parts. I don't even know if I saw all of them. There's like 5 or 6
Yeah.
now. But there's fun parts. And they also, nerd talking about, they have CGI that holds up so well.
Yeah.
Whoa, okay.
I think the second one is the one with Davy Jones.
yeah, with the big old octopus thing.
And where they put their money into their CGI, this is like 2005. Whenever this came out, where they put their money makes you like hate stuff now.
Yeah.
Because you're like, that looks better
Yeah.
20 years ago than this looks now.
And Orlando Bloom's in it, and he's so hot.
He is, which he's in
I
Lord
don't
of the Rings
respect
as well.
him because
Yeah.
he's married to Katy Perry.
It's like insane reasons behind everything.
It really is not right.
I know. I don't know what happened.
I have all
there,
these like
but-
weird little resentments towards people that have nothing to do with anything except for my perception of
Yeah.
their behavior.
Yeah.
We're going to play these Lord of the Rings games.
Yay.
At some point, I'm going to have inserted the script in here. So we'll say this is now after the script.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That
so I
was so
shouldn't-
funny, Allie.
So I shouldn't explain more about.
Oh
what
no,
I
you
think
actually
it
keep
is?
explaining, and then we'll do it after that. But we'll get that also all in like the preface to the script.
Okay.
What you carried in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Here's what I think that I know about Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
There's like 100 of them movies. There's so
Okay.
many.
Great.
There's so many
Yes.
of them. You got someone named Bilbo, I think.
Great.
There's a Bilbo Baggins, I want to say.
You're killing it, honestly.
I don't know if he wears like a wizard hat, but I know that it's popular amongst the Grateful Dead or like the Fish community or Grateful Dead. Like someone in some sort of jam band wears
Yeah.
a wizard hat, and I think
Yeah.
that derives from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
I know that there's some sort of gremlin-y, like skinny little bony weird character with no hair, kind of like a Dobby from Harry Potter, but
There
for Lord
is.
of the Rings.
This is Bailey just went on she calls them creepy little fuckers.
Yeah.
And they're her least favorite type of character, and that's
Yeah.
and Dobby and the one that I'm not going to name
Yeah.
in here.
Yeah, there's definitely one
Are her
creepy little
examples.
tiny fucker. I think everyone's kind of maybe naked. Maybe they're in New Zealand. Not real life New Zealand, but it looks like New Zealand. And I'm assuming they're all after the ring. And they say, my precious.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Someone says, my precious.
I
I
love
do
it.
remember that part.
And there must be a lord. I don't know who the lord is, but there's got to be a lord.
There's the Lord of the Rings and the serfs of the necklaces
Yeah.
and the poppers of the boots. I love it. I mean, you're bringing a lot of good stuff in there.
So that's what I know.
Okay.
That's cool. I like that. I haven't seen it either, so I get to like think of what you're.
Is there any
thinking
big
of.
omissions that you think should inform the script?
Well, no, because I don't know enough. I will say this: they wear robes. I know that,
But not
much.
everyone. I feel like that one little
Well,
creepy guy's a little bit naked.
But I, which is fine. But I'm just saying they do wear wizard robes. And I just only remember that specifically.
yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right. I think someone's naked or in their underwear.
Yeah. And I'm like, are they in the past? Are they in the future?
No
Do we not
idea.
know?
Oh boy.
It might be like I used to, when we would be watching Game of Thrones, I would be like, what year do you think this is?
Yeah.
And my husband would be like, this is no year because this time doesn't exist. And I was like,
but surely.
But I was like, but what like century?
Because this doesn't exist is such a funny answer.
And I was like, but what like century?
Yeah.
So I think it's that because they're wizards.
Sure. But I mean, technically,
I'm not going to give
there's
any
been
answers or anything.
wizards in our lifetime,
Like who?
like the Grand Wizards.
David Duke.
Yeah. You never know. Like our.
Allie.
I mean, who knows? I've never seen Lord of the Rings. Maybe they're all clansmen.
wow.
Whoa!
Wow.
If you write David,
It'll help our
into
SEO,
Lord of
honestly,
the
on
Rings,
Twitter.
That would be
Kanye.
so
Kanye's
Yeah.
the Lord of the
Kanye is the Lord of the Rings.
Wow.
That's so funny.
Oh, wow.
Oh my god.
I'm picturing an all caps tweet from Kanye that's just like, fuck Bilbo.
That's
Plus, there is someone sort of just hanging out naked around Kanye all the time.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's his
that's
little
true.
his creepy little fuck.
his
He's
Yeah,
creepy little
exactly.
His
fuck
Dobby.
her.
his Dobby.
Yeah.
That's so true.
I wonder who. Yeah, I'm like, I wish I knew the Lord of the Rings characters' names because I'm like, who's Bilbo? Like, that's Bilbo Baggins is a crazy name.
You do know that character's name.
But I'm
not going to spoil too much.
I
but
think I know
But
who
I'm like,
it
is
but I'm not-
Orlando Bloom sexy Bilbo or is Bilbo the fugly little freak? It could go. Like,
I want to know what actor you're talking about when you say fugly
I don't
little
even know if
freak.
it's an actor. It's like maybe
Oh.
like just a little fake.
You're talking
face.
about the little, what does Bailey call it?
it's a creepy little fucker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're all
But now I'm
surprisingly
like,
correct.
if I know one person's name is Bilbo, what the hell is anyone else's name? There's not going to be like a Charles. It's like Charles and Bilbo.
Maybe.
Jimmy.
Yeah, James.
That is
James.
my, just to be more nerd stuff, is I run a D&D game.
Nice.
and
I wanna
write the
play
D&D
so
game.
bad.
If you ever want to play, I can do like a one-day thing. You can come
Yeah, I
over. It's just
really
like
wanna
Wait,
play.
3
I
or
wanna
4
try.
hours.
Yeah, should we do it?
I
Let's do it.
wanted to. Can I make them fuck?
We'll do a Lord of the Rings themed one. I just do Lord of the Rings because I know neither of you know the plot.
Yeah.
So I'm like, here's the story I wrote, and I just take complete
Yeah.
credit for Lord of the Rings.
I just keep turning it into fairy porn. Everyone's like, could you please stop?
We get copyright infringement, which I keep getting on this podcast for posting music. Anyways, anytime you want to do D&D, but I love, one of my favorite things in running D&D is to have the bigger, badder the person is, their name be like Tim.
Yeah,
Or so,
that's
it's
fun.
just
I
always
love
fun.
that,
It's just
yeah.
always fun to be like a giant devil and his name's Jimmy.
And
Yeah.
that you're a dungeon master?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what they call you? Yeah, that's cool. I've heard fun things about D&D, but I also was told by D&D players that I'm not allowed to just like, there's a process, and so I've never gotten into it.
It's like a long-term game.
Yeah,
We're
like-
about a year in,
okay, but
but you can do one-day ones.
you see, I didn't know that. They were like, you can't. You have to do like a whole.
I think that it is probably the most unfairly gate-kept, very fun thing that there is.
Yeah.
Earnestly, as time has gone on, we've given nerds too much power, and we need to shift the
Sure.
pendulum back to like jocks because it
Yeah.
has been horrible. Jocks are like, yeah, anyone can play basketball. Nerds are like, you're doing the thing I like wrong.
Wow.
And I'm like, maybe
Well, but-
maybe we should swing it back towards the middle.
But that could be a little bit of the. I don't want to diagnose or generalize,
No, you're
but
right.
I do think the nerds are a bit on the spectrum, and
Yeah.
you
Sure.
know, I know that if things aren't going according to a plan, I'd get pretty PO'd too.
Yeah, I think
You
it's
gotta
the
play
like
by the rules.
You're not I like to when we play Dungeons and Dragons. You're definitely onto something.
Yeah.
Is just like, how is this fun now? I'm like a story
Yeah.
and vibe over complete rules.
Oh, I love
guy,
that.
And so it's very fun, and we've been playing for about a year. And,
Yeah.
and everyone's been sticking with the same ones.
That's so.
That's
But
cool.
That's
we can do
cool.
one day ones, like
Yeah.
4
I
hours.
would
I would
love
say you
to.
could do one thing and tell
I'm
a story.
bringing my boyfriend.
Do it.
Yes, same.
That's 3.
Sorry.
That's perfect.
Bringing my husband
Roll out
and my
some
boyfriend.
characters.
Nice.
This is how you find out you have the
Who's
same
also
boyfriend.
my boyfriend.
Yeah. Quick games.
Okay.
I will hold you
I
both
love
to that
games.
because I have written
I
so
would
much
love
story.
to. I'm
I can
dying.
show you. This is all just for one session right here.
I'm dying.
So this
to
is
do
like how much I would
D&D.
write just for one. It's like this is them waking
Yes.
up.
Whoa.
This is them doing something. Here's a hall.
And all of it is
here's
based
this.
on
Here's this. Here's this. Here's
dice
this.
rolls,
Here's
right?
this. Yeah, sort of.
It's based on what?
Dice rolls.
So it's like, what would you like to do? And your character has attributes of athleticism and an intellect and charisma, sort of like traits. And you're like, I want to ask this guy this. And then you roll your dice and it influences your success rate.
Yeah.
So it's like a luck-based collaborative storytelling.
Yeah.
Do you ever play Catan?
I have, yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
I've never.
It's just a board game, but I'm trying to be more nerdy. I like it. I enjoy it.
I love it. If you can get together with people who all care the same amount,
yeah,
it's so fun.
That sounds a lot of fun. I play a lot of video games, but I don't.
What are you playing?
Well, my husband got me Hogwarts Legacy for my birthday.
Yeah.
And so I've beat that, but I've played like every adventure game I'll play.
Oh, cool.
Like anything that's not like a first person shooter or a racing game. If it has like, my biggest thing is I want to be able to like walk around. I want to be able to kill stuff and chop down trees.
I loved the Harry Potter game.
I love it. I think it's so fun, and I keep laughing because like the way that they made it, all when you pick like your avatar, they're all kind of like gender binary because like all their faces and everything are all pretty like gender neutral, and you just pick their hair, and I just feel like that's such a funny troll.
Oh yeah, I do. I just made my guy look like Bobby Hill.
Oh,
because I'm like, I think he would have fun at Hogwarts.
I made mine look like a lesbian.
I love
so we said
lesbian,
the same thing.
Like a little butch lesbian.
I think you and I said the exact same thing.
But I like, I loved Harry Potter. I like all of the
Great
Assassin's
vibes.
Creed.
Also, great vibes. Odyssey, I played that one.
Yeah,
I just
Odyssey
love
was
a game
my
that's like a good
favorite.
vibe.
Yeah,
and you just
same.
roam around. I loved flying around on the broom in Harry Potter more than doing anything.
I need help getting a game because I just got a Nintendo Switch, and all I play, I've tried Animal Crossing. I don't like it. I don't want to play tax. I don't want to pay taxes.
Zelda.
I don't want
to pay taxes.
I don't want to pay taxes. I don't want to be stressed in a game
gotta
about
play
my
Zelda.
finances.
What kind of
maybe I'll
stuff do
try.
you like?
I don't like Stardew Valley. It's too slow and boring. What I'm really playing, which is embarrassing, is I'm playing Mario Party Superstars a crazy amount.
No, it's good.
But just alone?
Alone. I try ideally with people, but it's hard to.
The alone part's not the choice.
No. Get Zelda. Zelda's so
The Zelda
fun.
games are fun.
Can I play it on Switch?
Yeah, it is on Switch.
Yeah, it's
I'll
on
try
Switch.
I'll try it.
And I love, it's like a very, if you just want like a good, calm, odd vibe, there's a game called Hollow Knight.
Oh, I don't like it.
Which is like, you didn't like that game?
No.
It's like 2D sort of jumping around, grabbing things.
See,
but there's not
the
much
other
to
thing,
do.
similar, kind of a callback to what we were talking about earlier. When I watch an old movie, it kind of pisses me off. And when I try and play a video game that's too old, like if I try playing the old Mario Party from back in the day, I'm like, up the visuals.
I think I actually agree with that.
I hate the
think
bad
that
visuals.
we like especially the Nintendo 64, which is maybe the most revolutionary system.
Yeah.
Also has aged. A lot of the games have aged so horribly.
Yeah.
Because the controls are clunky and hard, and it looks bad, and the fun is weird. Like GoldenEye, which was like the quintessential, is so unfun to play on the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
A lot of the games are just hard.
And I don't have the nostalgia to be like, oh, I don't remember this. I never
do,
played
and I think
games.
it aged bad.
Yeah, I do too, and I think it aged bad because
I want a sexy looking bright game.
Yeah.
Good graphics.
Grab one of those Zeldas.
I also think like it's really funny. I think like with the games where they're I like thinking of the game makers being like, all right, give her the biggest tits you've ever seen in your life. Or they're like
that's why you do like Tomb Raider for the Nintendo 64, where she just had like massive square boobs.
But even in Zelda, you can tell when they're trying to make a character attractive, and it makes me laugh so hard.
You'll be like, that bird is stacked.
Yeah, like that is it's speaking of fairies, but like it's
oh my gosh, yeah, the fairies that come out of the ground have like giant tits.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
like it's so funny. Those are I should draw the parallel when people are like, what are the fairies like in the books you read? I should be like exactly like the fairies in Zelda.
And they don't use voices. Those big. And that's like how they talk, and then they just like present
like
themselves out like this.
Sex sounds.
It's crazy.
There's a guy I saw a TikTok when the most recent Zelda came out, and this guy had his neighbors called the cops on him for having sex too loud because he was playing Zelda at full volume.
Oh my god.
And he kept going to the fairy dens, and it's like,
Yeah, because they don't talk. They just sort of go, every time they want to say something, like,
I do think that is like a great component in a video game is horniness. Like that's why everyone loves The Sims. Like you just want to see people, you know, be sexy and
it's you want to just control little. It's like playing dolls.
Yeah,
it's like playing dolls.
It's like drowning your dolls.
Yeah,
because you forgot to build a ladder. In
Honestly,
your pool.
and any girl will tell you that anything that you can do to anybody in a video game, you've done to your dolls. Mm-hmm. So anything cruel, all of my dolls committed suicide. They all.
Is it suicide?
They weirdly ate their own hands off. They ate their own hands and feet.
It's gonna be funny when you find out you're alone in this.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't remember.
Everyone will tell you that you killed dolls at therapy.
They definitely scissored.
Well, yeah, they definitely scissored, but they also
I love that
they went
age,
cliff diving.
The age that you were playing with dolls, you're like, they're doing suicide. This is the only way out for them.
They're also mad about taxes.
Thoughts. It was more just like, wow, have you ever wanted to jump off a building?
Oh my god.
Lizzie's like, it's been a couple years. We were all in the pandemic, figuring out what to do with dolls. All right, let's do this. This is a Lord of the Rings themed game. It's a new game on the podcast that we've only played a couple times, but this is the best one. No song for this game yet, so it just has this theme. This is a song for a game without a song yet. They're about to play a game without a song. No song for this game yet. This is called How Much Do You Think This Memorabilia from This Movie Just Sold For?
Ooh.
So I'm going to pull up some memorabilia from Lord of the Rings. And you have to guess how much it is. So we'll take turns. First, Allie, you'll guess a price. Then, Lindsay, you guess higher or lower. And then we'll alternate on that, all right? So this is real stuff, all authenticated through bizarre, like, movie prop websites and memorabilia sites that I've researched this is real stuff. This is real stuff. The first one is going to be, it is just this picture of Elijah Wood holding the ring. Autographed by Elijah
so
Wood.
There is a ring.
A lot of spoilers.
Oh, and now there's a name. Oh, I know that name.
That's okay.
Okay.
How much do you think this? This is an autographed photo signed. There's not a lot of these. And this one just sold.
And it's genuinely signed by
all
Elijah.
Authenticated.
Okay.
All signed by Edub.
I'm going to say... Ooh... I feel like the fans of this are willing to put they're willing to put their life savings into Lord of the Rings. I'm gonna go. This might sound crazy, but maybe it's so accurate. I'm gonna go $82,000.
Lindsay, higher or lower than $82,000?
Okay, my second guess. Could I just say?
Yeah. Second guess.
$34,000.
It was $419.
Okay.
$419.
Okay. I like where your head was at.
That's helpful.
I feel like you went. You gave him a lot of credit.
I think they love this shit.
Yeah,
we're gonna get
and
more
you think
specific.
They have money.
Yeah,
which is so cool.
This is from the shoot of Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers.
The 9/11?
The little clapper. Yeah, I know.
That's really funny.
This is the little clapper thing from.
What year did that
Lord
come
of the
out?
Rings. This is 03.
And they let them call it Two Towers?
Yeah, they was called the Pentagon.
Building 6.
There's a whole movie about how Mark Wahlberg could have prevented any of this ring stuff from happening.
That's so funny. That's so funny, Kyle. That was so quick.
Where you didn't see where Frodo goes to flight school.
I think my first guess was
that might
really
have reined you into an area.
Yes. So now I'm going to say I think this is a much bigger deal. No shade to Elijah Woods.
No autographs, but this is used on set.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna say 5,000. Am I still
Lindsay, give me a number.
Crazy?
We're not even going higher or lower.
I'm gonna give a number.
Yeah.
I would say 3,000.
It is 6,150
Whoa!
pounds.
Wait.
6,150
Which I
pounds.
think
So we're looking about
converted is still-
$8,800.
Wow.
It's more? I
Yeah,
thought it
pounds
would
are
be-
better than dollars.
Oh, okay.
That's
Not
if
for
you want to talk about
long.
Edinburgh. That's a fun thing you don't think about the whole fucking time you're
No.
there.
Yeah, the
And you're like,
conversion.
oh, this was all a little bit cheaper than I thought. Ah,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
6,150 pounds. This sold in 2019 in London. Kind of cool, though.
Yeah,
if you
slay.
got disposable income.
Yeah.
All right, next one. This rock. This is a piece of Middle Earth.
Ooh, I'm
This was
learning a
given
lot.
to everyone who attended the premiere of the first Lord of the Rings movie. The Chinese theater premiere. Peter Jackson is there. Everyone, the director. This is the premiere. He gave you this if he invited you, and it's a rock from where they shot the movie.
Oh, so
and also
not
like
only is
authenticated as like you were at this premiere. All this is
Yeah.
sort of the gravitas that comes into this. Also, it is a rock in a box.
it, yeah, it's a rock in a box. I'm gonna say 2,000.
Rock in a box, Lindsay.
200.
Oh wow,
200. This is $595 US.
So wait, what did you say?
I said
200. I
200.
said 2,000.
So pretty close. I should have done
Okay.
these in order of how much they cost. All right, now they're going to get a little weirder, but I like these last two. This is Orlando Bloom's
Ears.
prosthetic elf ears.
Ew.
Well, this is gonna sell on two levels because
Yeah.
one, it's a prop, it's part of the movie, but also someone definitely wants to sniff those.
Yeah, I feel like this is up your alley to guess because you worked at ArcLight. And this is like some shit they would probably have in their little case.
Oh, like one
yeah,
of the
they would
boxes?
definitely have it in a box.
Yeah.
So these are the ones that he wore as prosthetics.
I'm gonna say 2,000 again.
I'm going to go with 10,000.
10,000.
$10.
$10.
These were 3,750
Yay!
euros. 3,750 these sold.
Oh, how sad! Only 5 bids.
I know. There's just two. I feel like two sad people back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of them was Katy Perry.
Final one, and I have the information for what this one is, and then I'll show you the picture. I didn't get a picture of the crown, did I? That's okay. This is a sword used by Gandalf.
Oh,
Spoiler alert.
Gandalf. He's the one with the wizard hat.
Ian McKellen.
He's the main dude.
He's a main dude. A little spoiler there. This is a sword he used. This is his actual character carrying this sword. So this is Sir Ian McKellen
Damn,
using
that's-
this sword in the films as Gandalf. This sold how much?
I mean, it's a weapon.
It's a one of one.
People love weapons.
Yeah.
People love Lord of the Rings.
This is Gandalf's AR-15.
Yeah. I'm gonna go 6,000.
I mean, I'm going to say 10
10,000.
again.
Jake, you
Yeah.
got a guess for this sword?
$50,000?
$50,000.
Whoa.
Jesus.
Is this gonna be a bit where like no one saw it and it sold for like $2?
This is 262,000 euros. 262,000 euros. This sold for February 23rd, 2023.
But you know what? You know what?
It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
You know what? This sold in London and they don't have guns there, so like swords.
This might have been a cop
Swords-
buying
It really
this.
is
Are
the AR-15.
yeah. That should have been.
It
in
should
the
have been included,
information.
honestly. I could see this being bought also by like Guillermo del Toro to just have in his foyer.
Yeah.
or
I could-
something like that.
I could see that.
A lot of really good ones there. 252,000.
Wow.
That's really.
I want to meet that
dollars.
person.
Yeah, I want to know who it is. Like,
I would
what their
approach them very
story-
slowly and with my hands up, of course.
Yes, I doubt you'll run into them outside.
Because now they have a large sword.
Imagine you buy it and you don't have it with you all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to bring it everywhere and just hope people ask about it.
Absolutely.
Well, hey, we're going to get the script and we're going to do down the other end.
Hell yeah.
Great use with this.
And now I know everything about the movie.
Use this information
You
to
know
inform
plenty.
yourself.
My whole script is just going to be like sword, ears,
He cuts off the ears with
Elijah
the
Wood
sword.
autograph.
Cool. And then we'll cap it off then. Thank
Great.
you. Well, we've talked, and then this is now the in the terms of the episode back to do the script.
Yeah.
is there anything now that we have the script done? We have it here. I've got copies for everyone.
Yeah, there might be. I've noticed there might be some confusion as the reading begins.
You were saying you've had a little bit of feedback.
Yeah, I read it to my boyfriend, and he was a little bit confused because I reference some people in Lord of the Rings being immortal.
That feels right.
But however, I say there's not many left. And he's like, how are there not many immortals left if they live forever? And I go, well, of course they went to Amsterdam where they're more accepted. Because I realize there's a lot of similarities to Lord of the Rings as there is to Nazi Germany. And the immortals in Lord of the Rings are similar to the Jews of the time. So it's not that they've necessarily been killed because, of course, they're immortal, but they've left the town of Greenland where this all takes place.
I was wondering when you were like, my boyfriend criticized some of this for being confusing. I was like, how did he do that? And then you just did your description of some of it, and I understand where he was coming from as well. I was like, that how I could see where he's confused.
I think maybe because I haven't seen it either. It sounds like a fun story.
Well, feel free as we're reading this.
Not that the Jews in the Holocaust.
Yeah, not
now that you described it as an allegory for the Holocaust, it sounds fun.
I know.
Kind of fun.
Honestly,
can you shake it and sniff it before you get in there?
I mean, going to Amsterdam? All right.
Yeah. Lindsay sees the Holocaust as a free trip.
That's what I thought. I was like, we're going to go on trains for free?
Birthright. Great. So is there anything else you want to preface with? And then you can cast it however you'd like.
Okay, I'd also like to preface that the reason I don't write scripts is because I don't like the formatting, the traditional formatting of a script. So this is formatted the way that I wish all scripts were formatted, where it's kind of more stream of consciousness.
Okay. When we clip out a clip for it, I'll leave it in your format since I have it emailed.
Yes. And if you have any questions or if something doesn't make sense, I do know exactly what I was thinking. So feel free if something's not registering to ask.
I like the idea of typing it out sort of how it comes to you. I sometimes think people do script formatting to make scripts seem longer than they actually are.
Yeah.
It's sort of like using a big font in a school.
And I
definitely did when I took a class.
I did choose a font that I felt was good and practical for a script, but also had a little bit of Lord of the Rings whimsy.
I think it's great.
I see that. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm going to hold it up.
I think you did a great job.
Yeah.
Personally.
Thank you.
Awesome. So cast it
however. I appreciate some
however.
bolding, but that's fine.
Okay. So I'll be sexy love interest girl.
Okay, as expected.
Yeah. Who is good at doing a creepy ass little voice?
That's kind of my voice on default.
Like my precious.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Lindsay.
That's
okay.
my
So
bag.
Lindsay, you could be Bilbo Baggins.
Okay.
It
says skinny legs.
Yeah, very skinny legs. Kyle, you can be Elijah Woodland.
Wonderful.
His full long name is Elijah Woodland Creature, but
that's so funny.
But he is a human, so the name is kind of tricky. It's just that he's so small and woodland creature like, but his name is Elijah Woodland Creature.
Yeah, wonderful.
And then I guess of course I wrote this, so I'm going to give myself the most parts.
Please.
I will be the Lord, aka Gandalf. I remembered his name halfway through writing this, so in the beginning his name is the Lord, but he ultimately is known as Gandalf.
I have to tell you, Gandalf going through a massive change like that is a part of them.
Oh, great.
Mm-hmm. A name change even.
Whoa.
That's a pretty big hit. That's a pretty big hit.
Those are your instincts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if Jake was here and he'd seen this, he'd be applauding that as well. It's a huge hit to have Gandalf have a name change.
So do we read the character descriptions or we just go into it?
It's up to you.
Okay, I'd like to read the character description so we can all read our own.
Okay. Bilbo Baggins. Ageless, but old as hell, like 300 years old, skinny little legs, thank you, and body and giant piercing blue eyes, hairless, okay, except a couple strands on the head and creepy ass voice.
Elijah Woodland, 15, the age of a man in the Lord of the Rings universe. He's a regular human, but very petite and boyish, like a woodland creature.
The Lord, a.k.a. Gandalf, remembered his name halfway through. Roughly 70 years old with gorgeous long blonde white hair and a fun pointy hat, although wardrobe looks a bit clam-like. Oh, sexy love interest girl. 14. Very awkward teen. Almost an adult and wants to be an adult, but ignorant and naive. And then we also have tavern dwellers, so any of you could just hop in for that.
I love that they're teenagers.
Yeah, they're teens. But that's like relatively like old. Like she's like almost a full woman.
Wow.
She's a teen, but she's right on the cusp of being a woman.
She have a bat mitzvah.
They don't do that there. But something similar, yeah. Kind of like a dance in the woods.
They have a quinceañera.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
And then, do you want to read?
Oh, no, go ahead. You could.
Oh, me? Okay.
Yeah.
Wide drone shot over green, grassy land. Vast, empty lands overlooking seaside cliffs. Seems completely desolate. Drone shot closes in on the ground. Still seems empty. Until we see little caves under grassy knolls. This is Greenland. No relation to what we know as Greenland. This is like a totally different Greenland. Where the human people and ugly old creepy immortal people live. The immortal people are treated as subhuman, and there's not many of them left. The ones who are alive and in Greenland are pretty much hidden away to protect themselves, except for one brave Bilbo Baggins. The majority of people on Greenland are regular mortal humans, except they all have clear skin, no pores, good bodies, and incredible hair. We enter the underground cave home of sexy young Elijah Woodland creature. He's handsome and boyish and kind of a dummy, but with a big heart. He's frantic.
Katie, I mean Sarah.
There's no response. We pan over to see sexy love interest girl laying in bed post-coitus with a thin sheet covering her naked body. She rolls her eyes.
Jessica?
Oh, my name is Grizenbop. Oh, my lord. It's only the third most common name in Greenland. Would have been an easy guess. What's a Sarah? She has a hard time pronouncing this foreign name.
No, of course, your name is Grizenbop. I just... Never mind. Is there a ring under you or next to you in the bed?
Gee, Lord, are you proposing to me after one lay? Yes, I will. I do. I will marry you. I can't wait to be a wife and mother and cave dweller and have no other hobbies or interests aside from being a pleasant partner for you.
Oh, yes, marry you I shall, but only if ye could find doth ring I am searching for.
Sometimes these Greenland folks go in and out of old-timey Shakespeare speak, but sometimes it's just regular talking. I will do whatever it takes to find thy ring to wed. What does it look like? Cut to a giant cave, very gaudy and spacious. Bilbo Baggins, with his sagging skin, few and thin long hair strands, and thinly moth-eaten looking poncho, is hunched over a glass case. He has a weird-ass little scratchy voice.
It's gold with emerald jewels all over.
No, Lindsay, do a voice.
No, like a different one. Like
sorry,
different from
you're
yours.
right. No, I was doing my real voice. Sorry.
No, that was perfect.
Okay. A giant cave, very gaudy.
You start doing the stage directions.
A giant. Okay, wait. Okay, give me.
Yeah. Cut to a giant cave, very gaudy and spacious. Bilbo Baggins with his sagging skin, few and thin long hair strands, and thinly moth-eaten looking ponchos, hunched over a glass case. He has a weird-ass little scratchy voice.
It's gold with emerald jewels all over and a secret vial of pig's blood in the main stone. It's not here, Mr. Lord. My precious is not here.
It is my precious ring that will give me the gift of immortality by ingesting the pig's blood when I feel my life is coming to an end. My precious. You must find it and return it back to me. Where could it be? This is a disaster. My life depends on this.
Oh. I will find the person who took this ring and I will give it back to you, my lord.
Good. Find the ring or else I turn you back to mortal and you die instantly.
I won't let you down, my lord.
Cut to Elijah and Grizenbop roaming about Greenland, retracing their steps from the night before. They enter a cave tavern.
Pardon me. I was here last night and seem to have misplaced my very cheap fake ring that holds sentimental value to me, yet is completely worthless and not worth stealing if anyone here has seen it. I was here just before dawn in the wee hours of the night when it was still dark out, and I couldn't totally see what anyone looked like or how old they might be.
He looks at Grizenbop, who is in her awkward teen years with buck teeth and overly rosy cheeks. She doesn't register this as an insult and gives him a big toothy smile. I was here too, if that helps bring back any memories.
We remember you.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
I'll just be the second guy behind you agreeing with what you're saying.
Oh, okay. We remember you. You kept trying to hold her hand by saying you thought she had tiny fairy hands.
Yeah.
And you should hold both of yours together to compare.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You kept trying to guzzle the beer quickly, but you would burp immediately after and say loudly, I threw up a little.
It's like the Sklar brothers.
I think you're thinking of someone else. He lets out a small burp and makes a disgusted face as though he's just thrown up a little in his mouth.
Oh, yeah, we were sitting over here.
Sorry.
We were sitting over here. I swore I had the ring on.
Elijah visibly gets emotional at the thought this ring might be gone forever. He puts his head in his hands. Grizenbop sits next to him, comforting him. Bilbo knows where the ring is. Bilbo went into Greenland's rolling hills to visit his few immortal friends to bring them some food scraps from the Lord's place. He had the ring with him by accident because he likes to try on the fancy rings to feel like a fancy human who deserves love. It fell off near Elijah's cave and he couldn't find it, but figured the Lord wouldn't notice since Bilbo kept inventory of the rings. Bilbo starts searching the exterior of Elijah's cave and then decides to break in. Elijah and Grizenbop return home. They see Bilbo.
Hello? What are you doing in my home? You must get out.
I'm looking for something very precious to me.
So is he. Elijah has lost a ring that once belonged to his mother, and before that belonged to her mother, and on, and it's going to belong to me once he finds it so he can propose.
My precious, that ring is not his and it won't be yours. It's the ring of the Lord. You could say he is the Lord of the ring.
That can't be true. Also, isn't the Lord's name Gandalf? I just remembered that's his name, so we can just call him that.
Oh, yes, Gandalf. He makes me call him Lord. He's very mean to me. I haven't talked to a human mortal like you for this long and forever. The Lord, I mean Gandalf, treats me like a slave. But if I don't bring the ring back to him, he'll kill me.
He can't kill you. You're immortal.
His rings have powers, and this particular ring could make him immortal if he ingests the blood that is in the ring.
Well, luckily for you, my ring doesn't contain blood. It was a ring my mom always kept hidden, and I thought when she died, it disappeared forever and died with her. But then the other day, I found it outside and figured it came out of dirt after the rain.
Gold, emerald jewels all over, secret vial of pig's blood in the main stone.
Ew, I don't want a wedding ring with pigs.
That's not my mother's ring. I guess it was wishful thinking. I lost it last night when I was out on the town.
Lost. The ring, my precious. Gandalf will kill me.
Not if I kill him first. No ring, no immortality.
But why?
He killed my mother, and you're my only chance to meet him in person. we could take him down. You can live with me, and maybe the other immortals like you'll come back to Greenland and be accepted by us.
My dad's not going to like this. I'm married and suddenly living with a man and immortal. He hates immortals. He thinks you're all diseased and violent.
Yeah, actually, maybe you should head home. This isn't safe for you. I think this immortal could be dangerous.
Bilbo looks useless, weak, and fragile and just stares with his giant blue beady eyes. Elijah gives him a look to pretend to be scary. Bilbo roars at Grizenbop and she jumps. Elijah pushes her out of the cave. Bilbo tells Elijah this could be very dangerous. Gandalf has a huge walking cane that could be deadly. Elijah is up for the challenge. Bilbo is out for revenge. Elijah is out for revenge. They begin the walk to Gandalf's cave palace. Gandalf is awaiting Bilbo's return. Who is this?
My precious Elijah.
Where's the ring?
You killed my mother. Prepare to die.
He runs towards Gandalf with his fist clenched and prepared to swing. Gandalf takes his cane and bonks Elijah over the head. Bilbo is upset, looks to Elijah to see how injured he is, and notices the ring is snagged on Elijah's potato sack-looking shirt-dress tunic thing. Classic. Bilbo grabs the ring off of Elijah's tunic and shoves it down his throat. Elijah starts to shake and shout. He is becoming immortal. Bilbo looks to Gandalf, and Gandalf looks to Bilbo, and we see behind Bilbo an army of immortals coming with canes and sticks and slingshots, and the fear strikes Gandalf. Cut to black screen. The perfect ending for a franchise. There are probably 5 more movies after this.
Wow. That was great.
Thank you.
Lindsay, first reactions as having not seen it also.
You know, I was engaged in the storyline. I felt like it summarized the men that I hear talk about this movie pretty well. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I felt like this felt accurate for the men that describe it. Also, the little tunics, I know for a fact, are accurate.
Those are accurate.
That's a clear description of that. And, you know, I think you did a great job, Allie.
Thank you.
Yeah, having seen them all, there are, well, if you count the Hobbit movies, I guess there would be 5 more made after the first one of them. Having seen the Lord of the Rings movies a lot, that Bilbo is... There, you got a lot of names. You got some names right.
Yeah.
Elijah Woodland creature.
Well, close. He is named Frodo, but it's close. Elijah Wood is the actor.
Well, you know, you gave him the Lord's name. That's his real name.
Yeah, it's like he has a deal to put his real acting name in it, which is fine. Bilbo is in it as well. Very old but ageless, kind of. All the same. Ageless but old as hell, like 300. I mean, he's in his hundreds.
I thought Bilbo was the other little Irish
Orlando
guy.
Bloom?
Oh.
No, but so Bilbo,
No, the one that was in Lost.
No. That's just other hobbits that live around with
Bilbo,
the Shire
to
with
me,
him.
I was picturing Dobby from Harry Potter.
Okay.
Oh.
Bilbo is just a much older hobbit who's sort of in the beginning and the end of the story.
Okay.
I like that he's thin, though.
Skinny little hobbit.
The hobbits are always eating tons of
Hairless.
stuff.
Hobbit is tea.
It was fragile.
It's crazy. I think of... Because Frodo, the one thing that is wild is there's not really like a big giant love interest for him. It's
And
mostly
who's
him walking.
Frodo? Is Frodo Elijah Wood?
Yeah.
That's his name in the movie, Frodo?
Frodo Baggins.
So Bilbo Baggins is not related to...
They are related. I don't want to spoil too much.
No, well, we're not going to watch it.
No.
Wait, so the creepy old little elf guy... little wizard, like little...
Gollum?
Gollum.
You're thinking of Gollum?
Gollum's my precious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, so Bilbo's Orlando Bloom.
That is... No, Orlando Bloom is an elf.
Oh.
Legolas.
And
His name's Legolas, or he has no legs?
Legolas. Legolas.
Oh, like Nicholas, but
You can get
Legolas.
like so deep. There's so much lore to these that it can become like a
So
whole
Bilbo's
world you get
not-
completely lost in.
Bilbo's not my precious.
He does say that at some point. So
does
the
he have
ring,
a weird voice?
Bilbo. The inciting action is that Bilbo is having a 11th, I believe, birthday party, and this is I'm going off the films. Bilbo is kind of like leaving, and to go off on his own, as he's old, and he leaves this ring behind that he has had, and the ring is powerful, and it's like a ring that's like an all-powerful ring.
Okay, so I kind of
You
nailed
got
that.
You nailed that. There is
Yeah.
a big, giant, powerful ring that has actual powers.
Why do you leave it behind?
Well, it
For purpose or for forgetfulness?
is the ring when you have it keeps like a power and a hold on you. So Gollum, the little scrawny guy, was not always like that, but the ring he had in his possession for some time and then lost it and sort of like became obsessed with it. Basically, the whole plot is that Frodo, this group needs to destroy the ring, and the way to do it is they send sort of these Frodo and his friend Sam to walk it to them.
His friend's name is just Sam.
Samwise.
No fucking way. Everyone's name's Bilbo,
Yeah,
Frodo,
and Sam.
Legolas, and Sam.
Yeah.
I was making a joke. I'm like, oh, maybe your name's Sarah or
Oh
Jessica.
yeah, no, it's very close. Yeah, it's Sam, and it is Sean Astin, the guy from Rudy and Stranger Things. And, so they walk and to go destroy this and through peril, and the other group is sort of like dealing with a big war.
And there's no love interest because I'm like, maybe there's like a Keira
about
Knightley
Liv
type
Tyler?
of character.
There's love interests for other characters in the
Okay.
movie. They're so long and there's so much.
That's
deep,
so wild.
The
never-ending
way that you
lore.
summarized it feels like it could be a short movie.
They are so long.
I can't watch anything that's fantasy where they don't fuck anymore.
Yeah.
My books have
I
ruined
don't
me.
think there's even any sex in any of the
so
3 movies.
stupid.
I would love to see that little skinny-legged Gollum go to pound.
I'm sure
that would
there's
start a
fan
fire.
fiction.
I think. Oh my god, I bet there's
If
wild.
you guys find
fiction.
fan fiction, sell it or send it to Kyle. Send an archive of their own fan fiction of.
You do have to mail it.
You do have to mail it.
I would love. Could we make this a 3-part podcast where we already recorded the first part? We're now recording the second part, and then I'll come back another time and we could read the fan fiction.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I would love to read a fan fiction of this.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. I think this is like deeper than Harry Potter or Star Wars or like these other things as far as like fandom probably having an odd hold.
I'll say that like Harry Potter fan fiction, I didn't even know is like a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Because they don't fuck in that movie either. There's so many horny people that are so mad that they don't fuck in these movies that I don't know why they don't just give the people what they want.
Well, I mean, Harry Potter makes sense because they're kids.
Yeah, as opposed to your script where they were 14 and 15.
But I literally forgot. They are adults. Literally. And I made that very clear that in the universe, 14 is very mature.
Yeah.
No, that was cool.
It sounds like a debate podcast I see on TikTok. No, 14 is very mature, an established number. But honestly, a lot of the vibe and the goings-ons and Gandalf having a big change to who he is and things like that, very much nailed. So tell everyone where to find you, anything you have going on, in I would say from June 10th on, probably.
Okay, I'm touring. I'm on the road. You can go to alliemacofsky.com/shows to see where I will be. And you can follow me on, social media stuff at NotAllieMac, NotAlimac.
Great.
God bless.
Gorgeous.
Lindsay, any books you want everyone to check out?
Yeah, I want you to message me about Zodiac Academy.
That's what the book is called?
Well, it's a series of books, if you must know. But
Are these how do you describe these books? Are these the horny?
Where does the Zodiac come
they're
into
really
play?
They're really horny. I don't know. They get their horoscopes every day.
Oh, I thought you meant the
That's
killer.
what it is?
Well, it's like a school. Listen.
Do they have superpowers? Or
Yeah. They're all like they have powers and stuff. Anyway, please follow me on Instagram at Lindsay Adams is popular. You can also go to my OnlyFans where I literally post pictures of like a possum that I caught in a cage. There's no paywall, so it's pretty fucking good.
Thank you so much for listening, everybody. Send us Lord of the Rings fan fiction.
Yes.
Either send a link on Instagram, neverseenitshow@gmail.com, or on the Discord, and maybe we circle back for a bonus section. Have a good
Where
day.
we read the fan fiction?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think a fun thing to do would be read the fan fiction with no character names, and everyone has to guess who was supposed to be who.
Be a good Patreon episode for you.
That would be good. Maybe we'll do that.
Yeah.
Y'all just got paywalled out of that. So, all right, have a good day.
I've never seen it.